Apostolic Christian Academy presents Mystery After the Manger.
That's beautiful, Rabbi Maxwell. Beautiful. That right there, that's a Kairos moment. That is well said, Rabbi Maxwell. Let's see what the students are up to today. Come on, students. Tardy again? This guy right here, he's one of my favorites, though. Tardy today? We'll take that off as a record for him. Breaking news. Winter. Bethlehem. The talk of the town. You know that Virgin Mary and Joseph rode on a donkey to have their baby. But there was no room in any inn. All that was left was a stable filled with animals. And the so-called Messiah was born in a manger. 33 years later, he performs miracles and then dies on a cross. And then the tomb is empty? What a strange way to come into this world. What a strange way to leave this world.
Detective, I'm looking for a detective.
Mr. Emily, did you let him in here?
Are you a detective?
I believe I'm the person you're looking for. The name is Sullivan. J.D. Sullivan. How can I be of service?
There's been a kidnapping. We need to find him as quickly as possible. Time is of the essence.
I'm here to help. Now, once they are moved to a secondary location, the odds of finding them alive decrease drastically.
He's already dead.
Ah.
We need to get going.
Well, who's the victim?
Jesus of Nazareth.
All right. Let me grab my coat. Take me to the crime scene.
Why did you say all right like that?
Like what?
Like, all right.
All right.
All right.
All right.
All right.
What we doing?
I don't know. Right this way.
So what can you tell me about our victim?
His name was Jesus of Nazareth. He was crucified and buried for 2 days before his body was removed from the tomb. We need you to find him and get him back.
Well, why was he crucified?
Well, he was crucified for the crime of blasphemy. He was going around proclaiming he was the Messiah. He was also performing miracles all over Israel. To be honest, all this guy's life was a little bit sketchy. He also had an immaculate conception. I also think he was making the priest a little too nervous the older he got.
All right. So, but why was he crucified?
Are you serious? I literally just answered that. This is where the body was taken from.
So have you collected any evidence?
Like what?
Like fingerprints, DNA, anything.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You know, back in Phelps, Kentucky, we used to rely on hunches and good old-fashioned sleuthing. Guess I'm getting back to my roots.
Kentucky? Is that the fried chicken place across the road?
That's where God put the Garden of Eden. Anyways, I suppose that I'll need a list of suspects so that I can best ascertain who is behind this post-mortem caper.
Who do we start with?
Well, the who is you. Let's go to the interrogation room.
You lost the Son of God over what? A sandwich? What were you thinking? He's the righteous one. My dad's gonna be so disappointed. I'll never live up to that centurion, Jeremy Stafford. Excuse me? Whoa, sir. I didn't do it.
Hey, now calm down. I haven't got to that part of my investigation yet. Innocent till proven guilty, you know? Now, I was just going to ask you if you're the head centurion who was put to oversee Jesus' crucifixion. I find it interesting you asked for my help, considering that being the case.
Well, yes, but you gotta believe me. I don't know what happened to him. One day he was dead, and the next he was gone.
So you killed Jesus?
Well, yeah, that's kind of what it means to be over a crucifixion.
All right, we're getting somewhere. Now, let's just try to relax, and I'll ask you a few questions. We'll start with going from...
I just left for a sandwich. Please believe me, it was just for a minute.
Hey, we'll start from the beginning. Tell me every little detail that happened.
Well, Pilate appointed me to oversee Jesus' crucifixion. He wanted me to make sure it was done right. I was supposed to report back once I had finished it, but I hate that part of my job. I got there and it was total chaos. Riots were everywhere. People were screaming and crying. So I finally just got tired of it all. And I shouted, "Lift him up!" And we crucified him.
So you say you were at the scene of the crime.
I remember like it was yesterday. I mean, he was so different. I've heard the worst of the worst when we've crucified people, but he was forgiving people.
Go on.
Pilate commanded us to take him down, and we put him in the tomb. We were there for 2 whole days. I was just so hungry. I couldn't take it anymore. It was just before the 3rd day, and I left to grab a quick sandwich. As I was hurrying back, bam! A crazy earthquake out of nowhere hit. I fell and I dropped my sandwich. As I picked it up off the ground and picked the rocks out of my mayo, he was gone. Please, sir, you must believe me. I don't know what happened to him. I was just so hungry. If I would have known that he was the righteous one, the Son of God, I would have never even helped crucify him. But there were some who said that his body would not stay in the tomb. I should have known. I could feel it. He was different.
All right, I believe you. Now, is there anything else? Anyone that can help us?
There was this one suspicious character. The other soldiers were talking about how nice and quiet it's been since he hasn't been yelling all day. I heard he stopped because that guy Jesus healed him. He might have some of your answers.
This character, you say, does he have a name?
Yeah, it was really long and hard to spell.
Okay.
Bartimaeus. Oh, yeah, blind Bartimaeus.
Hey, what's that mask for?
Oh, I'm sorry. You were not supposed to see that, detective.
Okay. Well, hi, Bart. My name is J.D. Sullivan, and I'm here to ask you a few questions.
First, detective, I have a question for you.
Do you now?
Have you been baptized, detective?
What are we doing? I'm the one asking the questions here.
I'm sorry, detective. No need for formalities. You can call me Bart.
All right, Bart. I have some sources who have told me you have some useful information regarding the missing body of Jesus.
Oh, yes, Jesus from Galilee. That guy, he changed my life.
Really? We'll get into that later. Now, first, can you tell me what he looked like?
I don't really know.
What do you mean, I don't really know?
Well, I never saw him.
You're telling me you never saw the guy?
Get that paper out of my face. I didn't get a good look at the guy, okay?
Could you at least describe him to me?
You see, detective, beneath the clothes lies the man.
Okay.
And beneath the man lies his nucleus.
Are you kidding me right now? That didn't help me at all. Can we get an artist in here? Let's get her in here. Golly.
He was very tall and very sturdy. And he had these great big long arms. Oh, and he had a... Orale, that's your man, that's your guy right there, that's him.
Those are a bunch of trees. And why do they have legs? Anyway, I mean, I should throw you in prison. This has been utterly useless. I mean, for failure to comply and obstruction of justice. You can leave. You can go. Thank you, I guess.
You made me look like a fool in front of the lady. You asked me what he looked like, not how he was.
Well, how was he, Bart?
You see, detective, he was the first man who actually listened to me. I mean, actually listened to me. In years. You see, I heard this guy was a healer through the Jerusalem grapevine. He was God manifested in the flesh, the offspring of David, born in a manger to save us. And I thought, what do I have to lose? I have been blind for years, but this guy, he changed that. He changed me, detective.
Changed you how?
You see, it's not only my eyes that were opened, but my heart was open as well. It is something I cannot quite explain.
I see. Wait, sorry.
Nah, it happens all of the time.
So, you're cleared, Bart. Thank you for your time.
One last thing, detective. There was somebody else with this Jesus.
Does he have a name?
Something with a P. He was
Okay.
tall, he was sturdy, and he had these great big...
I think I get the picture
Peter.
here.
Peter was his name, the fisherman, the rock.
verily I say unto you, what up? What up? So you're Peter the Rock, the fisher of men? What do you like to go by?
The Rock is fine. Wait for it.
Okay.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
What am I waiting for here?
Smolder.
What is even a smolder? Can we get a move on here? Hey,
All right, detective. What meaneth this?
I'm here to discuss your leader, Jesus.
Ah, yes, Jesus, my brother from another mother, the greatest friend that any of us could have ever asked for. I miss him dearly.
Greatest friend, you say? Surely a guy like you wouldn't have stolen him from his tomb.
Stolen him? Nay, nay, I say.
All right then, tell me more about this Jesus if you're so close. I'm pretty sure I heard that you denied him 3 times.
Yeah, looking past that, we were so close that before he left, he gave me the keys to his house.
So you know where he's at then?
He's gonna give sin the people's elbow, if you know what I mean.
I don't actually. Could you explain here?
He's gonna give sin the final whooping. That's what that means. Now write that down.
So you know nothing about the body or its whereabouts.
Nay, all I know is greater works am I gonna do. I mean, I always knew I was Jesus' favorite. Look at his muscles. John don't have that. Greater works am I gonna do, obviously. I mean, the guy was great from the day he was born. A king, born in a manger. What a story for the ladies.
All right, let's move on. Is there anything else that you can tell me? Anyone that I can talk to here?
The other disciples, they're not as cool as I am. Go find Mary Magdalene. She's a real devil.
All right, thank you for your time. You're dismissed.
What can I say except you're welcome?
So, Miss Mary Magdalene, is it?
You can call me Maggie for short if you'd like.
All right, Maggie. My name is J.D. Sullivan. Can you tell me how you met Jesus? You must have known him pretty well if you're at his tomb early this morning.
Oh, yeah. So Jesus saved my life. Like, after he was taken down from the cross, I watched with my own 2 eyes where he was laid. He gave, like, everything for me, so it was the least I could do to make sure he was properly buried and taken care of.
So, you just showed up to the tomb, and he was gone? Sounds kind of, as you kids call it, sus to me. You know, I looked some information on you, Maggie. Doesn't look like you have a crystal clear history. In fact, I have it on good authority that you had 7 devils in you. And if you're gonna act like that, you can take it across the road.
Okay, so, yeah, technically speaking, that's true, but do I look like I still have 7 devils in me? Yeah, exactly. I've really turned my life around, you know.
It's a tale as old as time. You know, I know types like you, Maggie. The good girl act don't work well with me. You know, I was a late bloomer back in the day, and they used to call me Butterball. I mean, that doesn't look like a butterball to me. And why are we laughing here? I mean, that's me in high school. Anyway, I mean, I had a fist of fury toward these people who call me Butterball. Used to pick fights, almost with every single one of them. And not only did I get a talk or two from my teacher, I got a one from my mom. And then I got a one from my daddy, which was even worse. And then he told me to go dig a ditch outside for no reason. I see right through that nice girl act of yours.
Detective Sullivan, I'm not disputing that I don't have a reputation, but that's precisely why I was going to see Jesus this morning. As you've discovered, I don't have a squeaky clean record, but Jesus saw past all that and healed me at my most broken state. That's literally just who he is. Ever since that day, I walk different, I talk different, and I'm completely changed for the better. That's just what one encounter with Jesus did for me. It was like right then and there that I decided I would devote like my whole life to following him.
You know, it sounds like a bit of an obsession to this Jesus of Nazareth to me. Maybe even a possible motive to steal the body?
Well, you wouldn't be wrong in saying I dedicated my life to him. I mean, who wouldn't? He's like the Messiah, but I did not steal the body.
All right, Maggie, I'm gonna let you go for now, but you're still a suspect.
Now then, gentlemen, during this interview, let's not forget our etiquette.
Hey, what was that for?
Yeah, we didn't do nothing, just in case you do.
Why I oughta.
Okay, buddy boy.
All right, knock it off, boys. Knock it off.
As I was saying, we ain't no snitches, you hear? So keep your trap shut and no clowning around. We stick together. We're all for one?
And one for all.
And I'm all for myself.
Wise guy.
Why, you little...
Here, break it up, break it up.
Hey, you big O, what we doing?
Pardon us, detective.
I didn't know we're in the presence of a headmaster.
More like head butterball.
You can take a seat.
All right, now what do we do with it?
You're sitting in. What else would you do with it?
I don't know.
Bunch of wise men.
That's us. Hello.
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 Nice to meet you, Your Highness, Master Sully.
Detective Sullivan will do just fine. Now, I'm here to ask y'all a few questions.
Sure thing, Your Majesty, but before you start, you must know whatever it is.
He did it.
Cut out.
Hey, cut it out here. You were some of the last individuals to see Jesus before his disappearance. What can you guys tell me about it?
You want to know about Jesus?
Why did you say so?
I literally just did.
You know, that Jesus, that's the best baby I ever knew.
So you're familiar with him?
Oh, yeah, big time. He changed everything.
Well, except his own diapers, of course.
Ugh.
Picture this. The three of us just sitting around doing our old wise men things when all of a sudden, a star.
A star?
A huge star, shining bright and beautiful. I mean, it was huge.
Don't mind them. You see, now back to the story. The star appeared in the sky, and we were on the hunt.
We knew we had to follow this star to find the newborn baby Jesus that everyone was ratting and raving about.
And this star led us to a stable, of all places.
A stinking barn full of animals. That's not the type of joint fit for a king, that's for sure.
But there he was, the savior of the whole world, a little baby wrapped in wags.
Aww.
The moment we saw him, we were overwhelmed with joy. It was an indescribable feeling.
You see, we bowed down to honor him, and we brought him our fanciest gifts, you see. Mine was gold.
I gave him frankincense.
And I gave him myrrh.
Wow, those are some pretty pricey gifts to give just some little baby.
Well, that's what you gotta understand, sir. He wasn't just some little baby. He was a king.
The King of Kings, Lord of Lords, Emmanuel, us.
With?
God.
No, that's not right.
God.
With?
Us.
So let me be clear. You say the moment you laid eyes on this baby boy, you bowed down to worship him and then gave him your finest, most valuable things? How could a baby be possibly worth all that?
Well, that's the thing about Jesus. One glimpse, one moment in his presence, and you will never be the same, even if you stew just like us know that.
You see, as wise men, we follow the Old Testament. But when we saw Jesus, we knew it was really him.
So, seems like we've come to the beginning of the story.
Yeah, go back to the beginning.
Mary and Joseph?
No, I talked to the one that got him there. Donkey.
Cause I'm all alone. There's no one here beside me.
Well, I can definitely say I've never interviewed an animal before.
My problems have all gone. There's no one to deride me. But you gotta have friends.
Hey, stop singing! Did you take the body?
Wow, that was really scary. And if you don't mind me saying, if that don't work, your breath certainly will get the job done. Because you definitely need some Tic Tacs or something. Your breath stinks.
I'm J.D. Sullivan. And if you're gonna act like that, you could take it across the road.
And I'm a talking donkey.
We're moving on. What is your relationship with Jesus?
Me and Jesus go way back. About 33 years ago, King Herod made a decree that everyone had to be counted. So they had to go back to Joseph's hometown. That's where I come into the picture.
What'd they need a donkey for?
Have you ever heard of the Christmas story? And do you really think Mary, who was 9 months pregnant, was going to be walking all the way from Nazareth to Bethlehem? No. And I know Joseph surely wasn't going to carry her all that way. They needed me. I was their noble steed.
Sounds like you were really important in the Christmas story.
Yup, you'll find me in every nativity scene. But you know, all glory goes to that baby.
Right.
So we're traveling and hear this. I got a 9-month pregnant lady on my back. I'm tired, I'm exhausted, and there's no room in any inns. So we pull up to this stable, a nasty, smelly stable. And Joseph said, this is where the king's gonna be born. So my attitude changes. I said, I like that manger. That's a nice manger.
So is that where your story ends with him?
No, I said I was their noble steed. What kind of detective are you? Remember just recently, everyone's singing Hosanna and Jesus came entering in on a donkey? Yup, me again, co-star of the show. But that was the last time I saw him.
Well, who else do you recommend I talk to?
Mary and Joseph for sure. To be God's parents, they sure are fighting all the time. You know Joseph still got trust issues since that whole baby thing.
Right,
but Mary, I like her.
Oh, here, Mary. I baked you a cake.
Oh, thank you, Joseph. Wait, we don't even have an oven.
Mary, and the angel appeared unto me and said, bake a cake, and then God helped me do that. You should know that, Mary. Do you see how that sounds, Mary?
Mary, Joseph, it's nice to meet y'all. I'm Sullivan, J.D. Sullivan, and I'm the detective on the missing persons case.
Missing person? Who's even missing?
Jesus, your son.
Her son.
Right, I heard about that.
Jesus isn't missing. This was the plan all along.
So you're admitting to taking the body? What's this plan y'all are talking about?
Nobody took the body. What she means by the plan is that he was saying crazy stuff his whole life, like, destroy this temple and in 3 days I will raise it up.
Is that why he's called Jesus the carpenter?
No, he didn't mean raise it up in that way. He didn't just come to this earth by accident or happenstance. Did you even know him?
You know, I remember reading about his immaculate conception, and then I followed some of the crowds to see him perform miracles.
But did you really know him?
I don't suppose I did.
When the angel told Mary she was pregnant, he said, this is the Christ, and we shall call his name Jesus, and he will save the people from their sins.
What you have to understand here is there's nobody like him.
Yes, Mary. You sound like a normal mother.
No. He was God manifested in flesh. As God, he fed the 5,000 by giving them bread and fish, but as man, he would also go hungry. As God, he raised the dead, but as man, a friend would die and he would cry.
The manger showed us that he is man, but the fact that you can't find him in any grave shows us that he is God.
So wait just a minute. You're saying Jesus is not just a man?
He was Emmanuel, God with us.
God with us? Where have I heard that before? Oh yeah, those 3 wise guys told me about it.
They're something, aren't they?
You know, I got some papers for them I totally forgot about.
Wait, that's the Old Testament.
Here it says that the king in Zechariah 9:9 would be riding in on a donkey. You know that donkey don't like you, right?
I am very aware of that.
You know, I even gathered some statements from his haters, the Pharisees. They said no one can forgive sins but God. But he forgave the sins of Mary Magdalene. I guess this proves that he is God. But I think the key to this whole investigation is trying to find out where the house of Jesus is. You know that statement that arrogant guy Peter said? He gave me the keys to his house.
That's not an actual place. The key is the message Peter has and will preach about. This key will open up a spiritual kingdom.
I see it now. You know, after all of this investigating,
I figured out the greater mystery of who he really is. You know, at first, I didn't understand hearing all about him. I was so consumed with investigating everything around him that I forgot to take the proper time to see who he really was. You know, for years, we have chased after the material things, especially during this time of year, but never have we received the gift that keeps on giving. You know, this Jesus, he's not only changed and healed all of these witnesses' lives, but he's changed mine too. And I wasted so much time looking for someone when I should have been looking at the one. You know, according to all these witnesses, he says that Jesus was a healer, a deliverer, a friend. But most importantly, he came to this earth as a baby to be the savior of the entire world.
The Bible said this would happen. In Isaiah 9:6, it says, "For unto us a child is born, and unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulders. And he shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace."
The Bible also says, without controversy, great is the mystery of godliness. He was manifest in the flesh, justified in the Spirit, seen of angels, preached unto the Gentiles, believed on in the world, and received up into glory. Our human minds cannot even begin to comprehend the greatness of Jesus. But in fact, he isn't even missing. But my God is alive.
And the good news is, just like he changed all of these witnesses' lives, he can change each and every one of our lives today too.